Is Six Flags Mexico about to get the craziest new roller coaster of 2025?
There's certainly potential for it. So a new photo has shown up online of what looks to be a roller coaster track in the parking lot of Six Flags Mexico. And this park is a little bit more removed from the general audience of like theme park sites that normally be covering this. So it's harder to find information of like what this could be, but there is one photo that has popped up showcasing what looks to be red Vekoma track.
So that, obviously leads coaster enthusiasts to spiral.
Oh yeah.
Like detective work, like, oh my gosh,
We're going into like all sorts of like, well, it could be this, or it could be this, or it could be this. So we're gonna talk about our options here. But regardless, this is a big deal because Six Flags Mexico does not get regular investments like some of the other big dogs in the chain.
Yeah, so we did a little bit of digging, and as of right now, their most recent roller coaster was in 2018, which is Wonder Woman, a 40 free spin, which is a cloned roller coaster. If you go back a little bit further, that's when you get to Medusa, which is a redo of a previous coaster. If you keep going back, you find 2004 was the last time they got a ground-up custom roller coaster. Other than that, like a lot of relocations, some clones, yada yada, but that was their like one-of-a-kind coaster, and that's 20 years ago now.
I know.
21 by the time this opens.
Yeah, so we have a couple options here. Is they could repeat history, and this could be yet another cookie cutter or cloned layout. I don't know that we'll necessarily be seeing like a Vekoma family boomerang here, but
no, the track doesn't look like it would be a Vekoma family boomerang.
I think we're looking at a thrill coaster, genuinely.
They already have like a handful of family coasters. They have a spinner called Joker. They have the Dark Knight coaster. They have Superman Krypton coaster, which is not to be confused with the one at Fiesta. It is not thrilling. And then they have Tsunami, which is really kind of a cool family coaster. But anyway, they could do more in the thrill department right now.
Right, because here's the thing. Six Flags Mexico has a great top two with Superman and Medusa.
And then just
it's a drop-off. Our next big one is a Vekoma SLC and then a Vekoma Boomerang. So they really need something to round out their top-tier roller coaster collection.
And why not another Vekoma?
I mean, yeah, but this is going to feel completely different. Your average guest could ride whatever this new one is, and then the SLC right next door and be like, no, those are two completely different companies.
So given that there's not like a ton of new Vekomas in the US, and like generally around the world, they're just starting to pop up more and more and more, I think the odds of it being like a clone the way we think about it is not really likely.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always a chance that it could be like a Super Boomerang, which has been designed to be a clone layout. We have the one going to Great Adventure. There's one in China. So, I mean, this could be that. You could say, all right, maybe Six Flags was like, yeah, we bought more than one.
Yeah, you know what? It's a clone, but it's a unique clone. Like, it's not okay, how many S&S 40 free spins are out there? There's a lot of them. So, even if it would be a clone, okay, like, it's a unique clone. Like, there's only 2 of them out there. One of them's not even open yet.
Definitely. And the reason why I'm leaning towards it not being that is because we do have the standard Vekoma Boomerang already in the park. So it's like, are we really going to get another roller coaster that goes forwards and backwards? I'm leaning towards no.
I'm going to agree with that.
What about a launch coaster? Vekoma has some cool launch coaster offerings, like they have the business model, the formula model, so they could go that direction, and considering the fact that they have no launch roller coasters, I think that's a decent possibility. I do think there is a potential option out there that we might be overlooking. Do you guys remember that little park called Energylandia canceled a tilt coaster?
Hasn't been sent anywhere yet, unless it has.
We haven't heard anything, but how Six Flags of a move would it be for them to be like, oh, you have a ready-made tilt coaster? Yeah, we'll buy it for one of our parks. I mean, come on. I could totally see that happening.
Yeah, and I mean, it would make sense that if a Six Flags park was going to buy one, it wouldn't go to the U.S. right away because Codaland is going to open one.
That is true.
So they're probably like, well, if we're going to do that, we should wait a little bit.
Yeah.
So that way it's like a little later than when that one opens. Because in theory, they're still saying, I guess it's going to open next year or something. I doubt it.
I'll believe it when I see
it. But they're like, okay, well, if we open one outside of the U.S., it'll be the one and only.
And only one in that country. Yeah, different marketing ploys. So I think that is a decent option. And the one thing that could back up that theory is that supposedly the one going to Energylandia was red. and this track color is also red. Meaning if they were already like far along in production, they could have been like, yeah, we'll keep the same colors for it. I mean, this stuff happens.
Yeah.
I think that is not that crazy of a statement to make. And right now, this is a theory that is like actively buzzing online. It's like, is Six Flags Mexico getting Energylandia's tilt coaster?
I think it's definitely a possibility.
That would be such a statement piece, especially in a park that's located in Mexico City, one of the most populated cities on the entire planet. Those people are going to eat that thing up.
Well, it's a very, like, popular park, too. Like, it was very busy when we were there, and it's really a nice park, and I think that they definitely care about, like, appearance and things like that. And a tilt coaster would be just, like, stunning and eye-catching in the skyline. So I think that it would be a really nice thing.
My first thought was actually, like, where in the park could they fit this thing? Because, you know, a tilt coaster is a pretty decent-sized ride, even if it ends up being one of their launch coasters. They are not small attractions. And just looking at the park map, this place is stuffed with rides. My first thought was actually that you put on the other side of Superman near one of their parking lots. I think that might be your best move because you'd have to take out some attractions if you want to fit it like in the main park. Otherwise, maybe you use this as an expansion piece.
Now, as cool as that would be, I mean, we can't just say, like, for sure that's definitely it. Vekoma has so many different models, right?
Yeah, they do.
And you know what? If I'm being totally honest, I didn't really expect to be going back there so soon.
Yeah, we went in 2022, right?
Yeah, and I imagine if they open a tilt coaster, we're gonna go, like, duh.
Yeah.
And we had a great time there. Like I said, gorgeous park, really great rides.
But I remember thinking they needed another big standout roller coaster.
Yeah, and, like, I definitely didn't think, oh yeah, like by 2025 they'll have something that state-of-the-art and awesome. But it's just really, really cool. Like, as people who are big fans of what Vekoma is doing nowadays, it's really cool to see them getting into chains like Six Flags and, well, I guess now Cedar Fair.
Yeah, by default.
Yeah, like even before they were working with Cedar Fair.
That's
they
true.
just did the boomerang and everything, the family boomerang. And now seeing that more of these are popping up, I imagine that this is going to ricochet.
Oh, they're going to be so busy. If you're a park looking to buy a new Vekoma, they're probably booked several years out that they physically don't have the space to manufacture like another roller coaster on top of all these others that they're working on, which I think, again, kind of supports the theory that this could have been a pre-manufactured, at least most of the way manufactured roller coaster that they were like, oh, hey, we got this sitting around. We'll offer it to you for a deal.
Yeah, the only thing that I think about with that one is that Energylandia is, like, very flat, and I felt like Six Flags Mexico had, like, a little more terrain to it.
Oh, absolutely.
So they might have had to change some stuff around.
Mainly supports, yeah. But they could make it work, I think.
But just in general, like, I am very excited for people in North America to start really experiencing what Vekoma can do now. Because most people, if they've done a new Vekoma, if they haven't, like, gone to, like, Europe or somewhere in Asia where they have some, it's like you've done probably, like, Tron.
Or Big Bear Mountain.
Yep. Like, there's not, like, a ton of them here. And the ones that are here are not high thrill. I think a really great stepping stone for people to see what they're capable of is going to be Great Adventure.
Oh, absolutely.
And then just going off from there, like, it's just going to keep going. And I think we're going to see these everywhere.
Definitely. So let us know down in the comments below what you think is coming to Six Flags Mexico next year. What type of Vekoma could it be?
Are we delusional?
I don't know.
Maybe.
What do you think the theme will be? Because Superman is already taken and we're running out of superhero themes. So thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next time.